We make it cool to be sucked. We make it cool to be sucked. We make it cool to be sucked.
And there, a bit earlier, the Heat getting mentally and physically ready. Welcome, everyone. This is what you've been waiting for. The NBA on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan, joined by Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke. Our starting lineups will look at the matchups here and who we'll see for our starting five for both teams. First, for the Spurs, Parker and Danny Green are your 1 and your 2. And in the middle, out of Brazil, taken with the 28th pick back in 2008, the 6'11" pivot man, Thiago Splitter. Then there's Kawhi Leonard, and it's Duncan in at the 4-man position. And for Miami, Chalmers and D-Wade are the guards. And playing at the 5, the always versatile 6'11" star big man, able to score inside and out, Chris Bosh. Then it's LeBron James, and it's Haslam in at the 4 spot. Now, here's Green. It's stolen by Wade. The finish.
Oh, ridiculous. Tore it down that time.
The rim rattler.
Just a remarkable jam. These fans' jaws are on the ground right now.
Yeah, that is Showtime stuff right there. Major highlight reel material.
You know, a big part of why the Spurs were so good last season, guys, was that they were able to finish games strong. You think a group of vets might run out of gas, but the opposite was true with this group. They turned it up down the stretch and were one of the most productive teams in the league in terms of fourth quarter points.
Now here's Parker. Outside Leonard. Lets it go with the 3. And it's good, and the assist by Parker.
Boy, that was a thing of beauty by Parker.
And Miami has possession. A moment to check in with Doris Burke. Doris?
Kevin, Greg Popovich and I got a chance to talk for a bit. Of course, the conversation veered to the challenge of defending LeBron James, and he said there's not a lot of good options with him. He can really do it all. I think you just have to try and stay in front of him, and if he gets in close, you have to bring help. And guys, we've seen LeBron really force the issue as far as getting into the lane. We'll see how they do.
And thanks for that story, Doris. Here's LeBron following the score by Tony Parker. Wade can't hit. Well, Clark, a big part of why the Spurs were so good last year in the 4th was because they have so many options when possessions, Steve, start getting critical and the game is tight.
Well, no question. You got Parker to create off the dribble. You can always throw it into the low post to Duncan. But on top of that, you've got a roster full of guys who understand how to play the game and know how to play each other. Just the experience that this group has gained together over the years, I think allows them to execute under pressure.
Well, really the heart and soul of this Miami team in a lot of ways, Udonis Haslam. Born and raised in Miami. He's played his entire decade-long career with the Heat, and just a tough, hard-working guy and a locker room leader.
And back to Haslam, he helped lift the Florida Gators program back to prominence, took them all the way to the NCAA championship game, playing at center of all positions.
But was really heavy back then in Florida. He had to lose a lot of weight before he was ready to play in the NBA. Went to Europe to play first. He's been the heart and soul of the Heat organization ever since.
Cannot hit. And San Antonio will go the other way with it. Green left side. Tried to bank it in, but he misses.
He's not necessarily a strong inside presence, but he needs to polish those chances off.
Chalmers past the bunch. Rejected by Splitter. That's tipped. Duncan dishes to Splitter. And Mario Chalmers gets the whistle that time. That's his first foul. Chalmers against Parker. Here's Splitter, and he finishes it off with a one-handed jam. Stupendous rush to the rim and a mighty slam on the end of it.
But through the teeth of some pretty soft D, I can't help but say that.
Well, let's see how that impacts things here, because those kinds of plays sometimes can be game changers on both sides.
And there's the call on Udonis Haslem. That's foul number 2 for him.
Second foul of the first quarter. They're probably going to have to sit him down here to try to avoid number 3.
Shane Battier is checked in for Miami. And a little over 2.5 minutes gone here in the first. And Green gets it to go.
Every time they get scored on during this run, it's come from inside the paint.
Now, you got to make a defensive adjustment here, Clark. Time to collapse inside, force the ball back out in the perimeter, make them beat you from long range.
Parker. Finished off the break. Parker's got 6.
Good work to tack some more points onto this lead.
Those are the kind of possessions they can build on and begin to pull away here.
Chalmers against Parker. Back to Chalmers. Good ball movement here by the Heat. And that's going to be a travel.
Coach Popovich was fine last season for sitting out his top players in a nationally televised matchup against the Heat. I certainly understand the league's posture there, and it was a lot said about it. Yet, for a veteran team like the Spurs with championship aspirations, I understand resting key players during the course of the regular season.
Offensive rebound. Splitter. A chance to extend the lead to double digits, but it's no good. And it's Wade penetrating. And he drew the blocking foul. He'll go to the line for 2. And back to that fine for Popovich, $250,000. Steve, that'll leave a dent.
Yeah, no doubt. But, you know, Popovich enjoys tweaking the league at times. This was clearly an effort to do that. But, look, I think it's good for him to actually, you know, kind of let the league know every once in a while that if you're going to give us that kind of schedule with my older team, I'm going to sit them down once in a while.
Matt Bonner, he's checked in for San Antonio. Diallo comes in for Tim Duncan. Ray Allen is checked in for the Heat. First quarter of play and just over 3.5 minutes in. Ball's knocked loose, and that's out of bounds. San Antonio will retain possession.
That was an awfully risky pass, guys. Lucky it didn't wind up as a steal.
Well, it nearly did wind up as a steal, but no harm done in the end. They hang on to possession.
So it's San Antonio now.
You know, he's not the most flashy point guard out there, and you don't hear his name when people talk about the best point guards in the game, but I think Parker is one of the best in the business when it comes right down to it. He's able to do so many things out there for you, and just had a dominant season for the Spurs a year ago.
Steve, Parker's fearlessness going to the hoop is what makes him such a devastating player in crunch time. Often you'll see him go right into a bigger guy, take the contact, and still find a way to finish the play. You know, when something works for you, you stay with it. The Heat saw after the 2012 finals that small ball was very effective for them. You can see why they chose to do that, given how hard it is to find a power forward that can match up with LeBron. Makes good sense.
I couldn't have dreamt of a much better start than what they've had here today.
Everything's working, especially offensively, and what a lead they have already to show for it.